All right, get ready, because today we're building the ultimate morning routine, and this one is specifically designed to supercharge your English learning.
We're going deep on this one, folks. Like,
Wow.
think of us as your guides to really break down a popular routine from the Speak English with Class YouTube channel.
Yeah, we're going to figure out what really works.
Yeah, and the video is called English Podcast for Learning English, my productive morning routine English Leap podcast.
Catchy title.
Yeah, and what I think is so interesting about Evan and Aaron, the hosts of that show, is that they're really open about how they struggle with their mornings.
Relatable.
It makes it so relatable, like they've really figured out a system for real people.
Yeah, no, perfectly curated Instagram lives here.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about the big why.
Okay.
Why are mornings so important for language learning? Like, isn't any time a good time to practice?
Well, you can think of it like this. Your brain is a muscle, right? And after a good night's sleep, your brain is warmed up and ready to hit the gym.
I like that analogy.
So certain cognitive functions like working memory and attention span actually pick in the morning.
Oh, wow.
So you're really harnessing your brain's prime time for maximum learning gains.
So it's not just about squeezing in practice,
Okay.
it's about being strategic.
It's about strategy.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But let's be real, mornings can be a battleground, right? Even for dedicated language learners. What are some of those obstacles that can trip us up in the morning?
Well, Evan and Aaron really hit the nail on the head with this one.
Yeah?
They highlight three main culprits: late nights, lack of preparation, and overscheduling.
The three big ones.
And, when it comes down to it, they all kind of boil down to a lack of intentionality.
You know, I'm super guilty of the late night scroll.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a black hole of social media and cat videos.
Oh, tell me about it.
And then I wonder why my alarm feels like a personal attack.
Right. It's so easy to fall into that trap, especially with our devices and all of the constant stimulation. But think about how much sharper your focus could be with even an extra 30 minutes of sleep.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And then there's the morning scramble. I swear I spend more time searching for my keys than I do actually eating breakfast.
That's the classic lack of preparation.
Oh, yeah.
It's like trying to bake a cake without gathering all of your ingredients first.
Yeah.
You're just setting yourself up for stress.
Oh, it's so true.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the overachiever's nemesis, overscheduling.
Oh, yeah.
I used to try to cram in a workout and meditate and write in my journal and practice English all before 8 a.m.
Oh, wow.
It's no wonder I felt burnt out before the day even began.
The key takeaway here is to be realistic about your capacity.
Yeah.
Trying to do too much at once can actually hinder your productivity.
That's so true.
So it's really important to pinpoint your biggest morning obstacle,
Okay.
and then we can strategize on how to tackle that.
So I'm picturing our listener right now as like a detective examining their own morning routine for clues.
I love that.
What's the one thing that's throwing you off? Is it the late night scroll, the frantic scramble, or the overwhelming to-do list?
Yeah, once you've identified that culprit, we can start building a more intentional and productive morning routine.
Love it.
One that doesn't just include English practice, but actually sets you up for success in all areas of your life.
Exactly. It's about creating a ripple effect.
Yes,
A smooth, focused morning leads to a more productive and fulfilling day.
precisely.
So are you ready to ditch the chaos and embrace the power of a well-crafted morning routine?
I know I am. Let's get into it.
Let's dive into the specifics. Okay, so we've identified that morning mayhem.
We have.
Now let's talk solutions.
Let's do it.
Evan and Aaron are big advocates for planning the night before, which they call doing a favor for your future self.
Oh, I love that.
I love that too.
Yeah,
It's such a simple concept, yet so powerful.
it is.
Like when you lay the groundwork the night before, you're essentially clearing the runway for a smoother takeoff in the morning.
Yes, you are.
It's like packing your language learning toolbox the night before so you're ready to go in the morning.
Right.
No more scrambling for resources or trying to figure out what to practice.
Exactly. Think about how much mental energy we waste on those small decisions. Like what to wear, what to eat, where did I put my headphones?
Ah, so true.
By eliminating those choices in advance, you free up so much cognitive space for focused learning.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
So they suggest some really practical things like laying out your clothes and prepping breakfast ingredients and even packing your bag.
Yeah.
Do you have any pre-morning rituals that help set you up for success?
Honestly, even just taking 5 minutes to map out like my top 3 priorities for the next day,
Oh, yeah.
that makes a huge difference for me. It helps me stay focused and it helps me to avoid getting sidetracked by less important tasks.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're prepped, we're ready. Let's talk about the dreaded wake-up call.
Okay.
I'll admit, I used to set my alarm for like some ungodly hour,
Okay.
thinking it was the key to productivity.
Right.
It usually just ended with me hitting snooze like a dozen times and feeling groggy all morning.
I think it's a common misconception that you need to become like an extreme morning person to have a productive routine.
Yeah.
The key is to find a wake-up time that aligns with your natural sleep cycle and
Yeah.
allows you to feel rested and energized.
So no more torturing ourselves with 5 a.m. alarms.
No more 5 a.m.
What
alarms.
a relief.
Right.
So start by shifting your wake-up time in small increments, like 15, 30 minutes earlier than usual.
Exactly.
Your
Yeah.
body will adjust gradually, and you'll be less likely to experience that dreaded sleep inertia.
Yeah.
Small changes, big impact.
Absolutely.
I got it.
Good.
The video also mentions some interesting techniques for actually getting out of bed, like moving your alarm across the room
Yeah.
and trying a sunrise alarm clock.
That one is a good one.
Have you experimented with either of those?
You know, I haven't tried moving my alarm across the room, but I am a huge fan of the sunrise alarm clock.
Oh,
Yeah, it mimics the gradual brightening of natural sunlight, which is so much gentler on your sleep-wake cycle than a jarring alarm sound.
oh, that makes sense.
Plus, it actually helps to regulate your circadian rhythm, which can improve your sleep quality overall.
So it's like easing into the day instead of being jolted awake.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're up, we're dressed, we're hopefully feeling somewhat human.
Awfully.
And now, Evan and Aaron introduce a concept that might surprise some people, mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
I know it sounds a bit woo-woo, but before you roll your eyes, hear me out.
You know, it's true. Mindfulness isn't just about meditation or chanting Om on a mountaintop.
Yay.
It's really just about cultivating present moment awareness.
Okay.
Think of it as like a mental decluttering session,
Yeah.
creating space for focused attention.
So it's like hitting the reset button on your brain before you dive into your language learning.
Exactly. And you don't need to spend hours doing it.
Right.
Evan and Aaron recommend simple practices like deep breathing or quick gratitude reflection. Yeah, just a few minutes to quiet your mind and to set a positive intention for the day.
You know, I used to think mindfulness was just about stress reduction, but I'm starting to see how it connects to language learning.
I agree.
If you're calmer and more focused, you're probably more receptive to new information.
Absolutely. Anxiety can actually create mental blocks that hinder learning.
That's true.
So by calming your nervous system and cultivating a sense of presence, you create a much more conducive environment for absorbing and retaining new language.
Okay, mindfulness check. What's next on our English boosting morning routine checklist?
It's time to get moving.
Okay.
And don't worry, we're not talking about like an intense workout here.
Okay.
This is just about gentle movement to awaken your body and mind.
Okay. Because sitting hunched over textbooks doesn't exactly scream vitality, right?
No, it doesn't.
I'm picturing our listener doing some triumphant stretches like they just conquered a mountain of vocabulary.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Even just a few minutes of stretching can improve your circulation, boost your energy levels, and help your brain to transition from sleep mode to learning mode.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like giving your system a gentle nudge to wake up fully.
Okay. I'm sold stretching is definitely doable.
Good.
What are some other ways to get moving that don't involve, actual exercise?
Sure.
Because some of us are more morning movement challenged than others.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The video suggests a short walk around the block or even just around the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fresh air and natural light can do wonders for your mood and alertness.
Yeah.
And here's a fun one, dancing to an English song.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's like sneaking in some listening practice while getting your groove on. I could definitely get down with that.
There you go.
So we've prepped the night before we eased into our morning. We took some time for mindfulness, and we got our bodies moving. I'm already feeling more energized.
Me too.
But now it's time for the main event, the mini English practice session.
Yeah, this is where the magic of consistency really comes into play. Even just 5–10 minutes of focused practice each morning can have a significant impact on your language skills over time.
Yeah, it's like those compound interest memes. Small, consistent investments lead to big gains in the long run.
Exactly.
But with so many different language learning resources out there, where do we even begin?
That's a good question.
What are some effective ways to incorporate mini practice into a busy morning routine?
Yeah. Evan and Aaron have some really good suggestions that don't require a huge time commitment.
Okay,
They're all about integrating English into those like everyday moments.
I like that.
Yeah, one that really stood out to me was listening to an English podcast while getting ready.
Oh.
You know, it's like multitasking for language learners.
Yeah.
You're getting dressed and immersing yourself in authentic English conversation.
Oh, I could totally see myself doing that, like while sipping my coffee.
Exactly.
And speaking of coffee, they also recommend reading a short article from an English news website.
Yeah.
It's a quick way to stay informed and expand your vocabulary at the same time.
And I love how they emphasize finding resources that genuinely interest you.
Oh, yeah.
If you're passionate about a topic, you'd be so much more engaged and motivated to learn.
Yeah.
So whether it's sports technology or even celebrity gossip, find something that sparks your curiosity in English.
Absolutely. Learning shouldn't feel like a chore. It should be fun and relevant to your interests.
Exactly.
Okay, what about speaking practice? I know a lot of learners struggle with finding opportunities to speak English outside of like a classroom setting.
Right.
What do they suggest?
Well, the video has this really fun suggestion: talk to yourself in the mirror.
Oh,
I know it sounds a little silly,
yeah,
but it's a great way to build confidence and fluency without feeling self-conscious.
that's a good point.
Yeah, you can describe your surroundings, you can narrate your actions, you can even practice a presentation.
It's like having your own personal English tutor, but without the judgment.
Exactly.
I love it. And of course, there's the classic journaling in English. It's a great way to reflect on your learning, track your progress, and even practice your writing skills.
Right. And they recommend just keeping it short and sweet. Just a few sentences about your goals for the day, what you're
Mm.
grateful for, or even like a summary of something you learned in English.
Perfect. So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the why, the how, and even the what of creating an English boosting morning routine. But before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more crucial aspect: tracking your progress and celebrating those wins.
Yes. Accountability is so important, especially when you're trying to establish new habits.
Yeah.
Evan and Aaron recommend using a habit tracker to visually monitor your consistency.
Oh.
Seeing those check marks can be incredibly motivating.
Yeah, it's like a visual reminder of your commitment to your language learning journey.
Exactly.
You can also use a journal to just jot down your thoughts and reflections on what's working well and what you might want to adjust.
Absolutely.
Flexibility is key. Your ideal morning routine might evolve over time as your needs and preferences change. Right.
The important thing is to find a system that supports your goals and makes you feel empowered.
I agree.
So what are you excited to try, and how will you make it your own? Maybe you'll pair your coffee with a dose of English news, or turn your morning commute into like a mobile language lab.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
They are. Remember, even small changes can make a big difference.
So true.
The key is to start small, stay consistent, and enjoy the journey.
Exactly. This isn't about becoming a superhuman morning person. It's about finding what works for you and making those small, consistent efforts that add up over time. So go forth and conquer those mornings. Language learners, you got this.